What's up, guys? Swift here, covering the entire NFC North today. I'm going to quickly give an outlook and breakdown of all four teams with the projection of how many wins I think they're capable of getting this season. Let's get right into it. First up is the Green Bay Packers. Their roster overall doesn't seem bad enough to be in play for the #1 overall pick, but they seem like a team due for a lot of regression. They have had Hall of Fame level of quarterback play for the last 3 decades, and for the first time since I've been watching football, I'm not scared of the Packers quarterback. I'm not saying Jordan Love is terrible, but I'm pretty confident that the Bears have the edge here, not only for week 1, but all year long and going forward. I do recognize that the Packers have more talent in the trenches right now. The offensive line has quality and some depth. Also, Matt LaFleur is an accomplished NFL play caller, but the skill positions on the Packers offense are very young, inexperienced, and led by Jordan Love. I think Christian Watson has a ton of upside. He showed off his skill set last year, but he won't be catching passes from Aaron Rodgers this time, and the rest of the wide receiver room lacks established options. Jaden Reed has a ton of deep speed and ball skills, and Romeo Doubs is a solid, if not unspectacular, possession receiver. I like Luke Musgrave as a receiving option as well, but he is not ready to be a blocker at the NFL level. This Packers team has talent, but the weapons on offense are very inexperienced. Jordan Love is finally getting his chance to start, and he's surrounded by young weapons all over in the passing game. Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson are entering year 2, with Jaden Reed and Luke Musgrave both being rookies. How Jordan Love plays is key to the Packers' 2023 season. LaFleur's offense is one that features a lot of nuances and timing routes. It'll be interesting to see how the rookies and second-year players handle it, but they also got rid of longtime kicker Mason Crosby and longtime Bears punter Pat O'Donnell. There is a lot of inexperience on this special teams squad. They have rookies Anders Carlson and Daniel Whalen at kicker and punter. Neither has ever taken a snap in an NFL game. This is something I haven't really heard anyone talk about, and it's something that definitely could hurt the Packers. I have them finishing 4th in the division. I see this as a transition year for them. They have a really good defense and a good offensive line. They are counting on Bakhtiari to stay healthy, though, and he hasn't played a full season since 2019. I have the Packers winning between 4 and 8 games. Next up are the Minnesota Vikings, a team that's also due for a bit of regression. They were a really good team last season, but they won the most one-score games in NFL history. 11 one-score games they won last year, but on top of that, all 4 of their losses were by more than 11 points. The Achilles heel on this team is the defense. They struggled last season at stopping the pass. They did add Byron Murphy, who's a solid corner, but do they have enough talent opposite him? That's still an unknown. Lewis Cine is healthy, though, and should definitely help at safety. Brian Flores is the biggest addition to this defense. I highly respect him, and I think he can turn this defense around. However, he's facing a tough challenge here, and I think it may take some time to get this defense rolling on all cylinders. On offense, Kirk Cousins had arguably the best season of his career last year and took his game to another level in the 4th quarter. Justin Jefferson and Christian Darrisaw are both Pro Bowl caliber players at 2 of the most important positions on offense, and I also think that Jordan Addison brings more to the offense than they lost with Adam Thielen. Addison is a dangerous slot option and gives Cousins 3 legit options in the passing attack. The loss of Dalvin Cook is being mostly overlooked, though, because Alexander Mattison does seem like a capable replacement, but Cook was a special talent, and this is a minor downgrade. It's hard for me to predict how this team will do in 2023. Yes, 11 one-score wins has to be an outlier of sorts, but it also means that Kirk Cousins played very clutch last season, and if he plays like that again this year, this team will definitely be in playoff contention. I have them winning between 8 and 12 games. Now let's get to the Detroit Lions, who seem to be the media favorites for the division, but they haven't won the NFC North since 1993 when it wasn't even the NFC North. However, they do boast the top 5 offensive line and a pretty talented defensive line as well. Last season, the Achilles heel was the defense, as they had the 32nd ranked defense in the entire NFL and were 30th against the pass. They signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Cameron Sutton, and Emmanuel Mosley to shore up the secondary, but they still need youngsters Kirby Joseph and Tracy Walker to play better if they want to make a huge jump here. There have also been rumblings about last year's surprise pass rusher James Houston, saying that he's taken a step back in his development this offseason. This is going to be something to watch. The offense should be good though. Jared Goff isn't a superstar, but he is a serviceable game manager who takes what the defenses give him. He has the benefit of operating behind one of the best offensive lines in the entire league. With Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery in the backfield, they should also have a great running game. At wide receiver, they have one of the most talented slot guys in the entire league with Amon-Ra St. Brown, but other than that, they are lacking. Jameson Williams missed most of the preseason and is serving a 6-game suspension. So do they have enough weapons on offense? They do have some talent, but they are still the Detroit Lions, and I'm not completely sold yet. I think they can win between 7 and 11 games this year. And now we get to the Bears. This is a young, feisty football team that made significant additions all over the roster this offseason. The future is bright, but what's the outlook for 2023? Most of it hinges on Justin Fields' development and whether or not our defense can take a significant step forward this year. The Bears easily had the best offseason of the NFC North, adding DJ Moore, Tremaine Edmonds, Yannick Ngakoue, TJ Edwards, DeMarcus Walker, Nate Davis to a draft that features a slew of potential long-term building blocks. The biggest worry for the Bears this season comes in the trenches. The starting offensive line has been banged up and hasn't had time to gel or play together very much. Tevin Jenkins is out for the first 4 games of the year, while everyone else on the line other than Braxton Jones has missed time in camp. The offensive line's performance will go a long way in determining the success of the 2023 Bears. I will say this, it's a much more talented group than we had last year, but there still are a couple of question marks. Same with the defensive line. A ton of upgrades, new starters at defensive end, and 2 highly touted rookies at defensive tackle that are going to get a ton of playing time. But the question remains, how will this defensive line perform as a unit? They have a ton more talent than we did last year, but there are a lot of moving parts and new pieces to the formula, so we have to see how it plays out. Both starting linebackers behind them are also new, so how disciplined will these guys be in gap integrity? It plays a huge part in this defensive scheme, and until we see it on the field, there are bound to be legitimate question marks. This was one of the worst D-lines in the league last year. Yes, we have added a lot of talent, but we've yet to see it in action as a complete unit. I have a lot of optimism heading into the season, and I'm confident that this team is heading in the right direction. But it might take some time for our defensive and offensive lines to come together. Health is also a huge concern for this team. As Poles continues building depth, there are still question marks at the bottom of the roster. I see us winning between 7 and 11 games. To me, it looks like a 3-way race for the division, coming down to the Vikings, Lions, and Bears. Oh my. This division to me is not the best in football, but it's definitely one of the best overall divisions from top to bottom. All 4 teams have solid coaching staffs and lots of roster talent. The Bears will not be the favorites entering the season. However, I do feel like we are part of the race. Don't count us out yet. This team is on the way up, being built in the right direction, and if we can catch a couple of breaks this year, we have a shot to win the division. The bottom line, though, is that all 3 of these teams, the Bears, Vikings, and Lions, should be playing meaningful games down the stretch. How the division ends up is anyone's guess at this point, but this season is set up to be an exciting season-long battle. I can't wait. Football kicks off tonight. We have the Lions against the Chiefs. Of course, I'll be rooting for the Chiefs. Stay tuned, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about the NFC North. Please remember to hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.
Jay, you got him. Here we go.
Do right, Jay. Do right, Jay. Hey. Hey, good work today, baby. Let's keep going. Here we go. Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bears.